All right, good afternoon, everyone. I think the speech got me more nervous than I was when I was about to run 1,000 kilometers across the deserts. So to tell you guys, those who don't know what the Four Desert Grand Slam is, it is a multi-stage ultra marathons that bring you through the world's toughest 4 deserts. Within a calendar year, you have to complete all 4, totaling 1,000 kilometers. So before you let that 1,000 kilometers scare you, don't worry, it scared me too, a lot. But I don't think about it that way. I always think about it, okay, just 10 kilometers, how am I going to handle that? My mind and body can only take 10 kilometers at a time. Just like the same way that you would cram before every exam, you know? You think about, okay, Monday exam first, how am I going to make it through? Then you start thinking about the exam on Tuesday later. Joking aside, I'm really honored to be here to share with you my experience of being the first female from Asia to have completed this 4 desert Grand Slam, running across the world's toughest terrain, all in a calendar year, carrying all the things that I need because they're self-supporting races. All right, so so as you can see, the last year I had the pleasure of running a marathon a day in each race, a marathon a day for about a week in each of these races. But it also means that I get to run across the most stunning sand dunes in the Namib Desert in Africa. I also get to traverse and witness the windiest desert, saw a sandstorm in Gobi Desert in Asia. And also I got to run across the surface that scientists have compared to the surface of the moon in the Atacama Desert in northern Chile in South America. And finally, I got to run to the end of the world, Antarctica. So it's not so bad, right? So what does it mean to be the first woman to do this? Why does it matter that I wanted to do this so bad that I sort of swapped my life, a cushy corporate life where I was running a marathon or 2 a year without ever having time to train for it, swapping it for a life where I was an ultra runner and I'm expected to be able to train and run on any given day, a half marathon, a marathon, or even 100 kilometers. So I wanted to do it so bad to make it to be the first. What is the difference between being the first woman to do something rather than the second or the 10th? So the answer to that question, I would like to bring you back to 50 years ago, in 1967. This is a picture of Kathy Switzer in the Boston Marathon. She was the first woman to run the Boston Marathon as a number entry in 1967. So back then, women are not allowed to run marathons. People back then thought that if women are not physically and mentally fit for such physical excursion, they think that if they try, the uterus may fall out, they may fail, they can't handle it, among a whole lot of other ridiculous health implications. So to be able to run this marathon, Kathy had to persuade her coach by running 32 miles or 50 kilometers in practice. And even during the run, during the Boston Marathon, many tried to pull her off the course when they realized that she is a woman. But she never gave up. She never let anyone stop her. And she made it to the finishing line. And so today, there are thousands and thousands of women who can run marathons, ultra marathons, and triathlons, including myself. So what Kathy Switzer did was she removed that predefining limit that everyone had about women in the sport of athletics. She proved that women can do it, and people notice. So while what I was trying to do is very different, but it is with the same intention. I want to be the living proof that if a scrawny, geeky little 9th grader who could barely run 1 kilometer during high school team's warm-up can grow up to run 1,000 kilometers across the deserts, you can do anything. I want to remove that predefined limit that you and the social norms have placed upon yourself. I want you to think that nothing is impossible, regardless of your gender, your age, or your circumstances. Pretty cool pictures, huh? So to be the first female to do anything, it takes a little bit of bravery, a lot of extra persuasion, overcoming a lot of tremendous obstacles, and grit. And all these require the woman to have a vision. Now, every time I stand at the starting line, I don't think about the 250-kilometer race that I have ahead of me. I don't think about the pain that I'm about to endure. I visualize myself crossing the finishing line and what it can do for the community back home, what it can do for the women back home, that it can inspire them to take on their own challenges, whatever that may be. Not until that I truly have a vision of how my journey can have a meaning, that I can rise up to it. Because otherwise, my journey would just be a very long, hard, lonely run in the middle of nowhere. The contagion of the wildest dreams is what makes the journey beautiful and meaningful. So, a lot of people ask me, how did you do it? Do you want to know the secret? Yes. I didn't know how. I didn't know how. I was young, naive of the difficulties ahead, but I had a vision, and I also had a lot of help. Do not think for a second that because you are the first female pioneer, that you have to do everything by yourself. I had so much help. My friends helped me with kind and encouraging words. The people who have completed the races before gave me a lot of guidance and preparation. My coach and personal trainer also helped to train me from someone who had very little physical aptitude to a strong and consistent runner. And also my sponsors, who took a very big risk and supported and invested in my goals, even though they don't know if I were going to succeed. But I had a vision, and I got help with that vision. And although you may think, do I want to inspire people to run 1,000 kilometers across the deserts? The answer is no. Everyone has their own challenge in life. And when I started out my journey, I thought 1,000 kilometers, or running a marathon a day for every single day for a week is extremely hard. But as I get deeper and deeper into the world of endurance racing, I realize for a lot of people, that is just their way of life. When I went to the northern area, very mountainous and remote area of Vietnam, I was carrying, 10-kilo backpack and tried to run. It was rather more like crawling. And I thought, I'm so tough. But then I look across, and there it was, just people just with 20 kilos of woods and all the different kind of supplies on their back, from kids to older people, and kids up there in those areas. They walk for 5 or 6 hours to cover 30 or 40 kilometers to go to school. For them, their challenges are very different. For them, their challenge is making it through high school or go to university, a lot of which we take for granted. And so also for a lot of ethnic minority girls, their challenges, their impossible dreams are making it to university because for their parents, their priority is to get married even though they're 15 or 16. For them, finishing high school and going to university is a very far-fetched dream. So while I say I am proud to be the first female to complete this grand challenge, I want to be able to inspire them with my journey so that they can be the first female from their village, or even just from their family, to go to university. I want to inspire them to have a vision of a future with choices. And a lot of the time, people think that, well, it's not that bad being a woman. It is pretty tough. And even in Vietnam, where a lot of us, grow up in good background, with good backing from our parents, a lot of women are prejudiced. A lot of women are geared toward thinking, what do you need to do all this for? All you have to do is get a husband and have a family. And many have said the same thing to me. Of course. I mean, I didn't have to do any of these to have a family of my own. But if my stories can have a meaning to others, that is a journey worth having. So today, I would like to invite you to go home and think about your own impossibility, so that the next time you think about something you really, really want, but you're scared because of your gender, your age, or your circumstances, you'll look at that fear in the eyes and say, but I can. Thank you.